Good evening, I am Shazia. You are watching Kashmir Pen TV, Weekly Roundup. As Kashmir steps into the freshness of spring, with tulips in bloom, tourists returning, and valleys awakening, the past week has unfolded as a complex tapestry of anxiety, resilience, governance, and hope. The region, like the rest of the world, finds itself navigating the ripple effects of an increasingly volatile global environment, even as it grapples with its own internal transitions. At the global level, the deepening crisis in West Asia has cast a long shadow. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's high-level review of petroleum, power, and fertilizer sectors underscores a critical reality. Distant conflicts are no longer distant in their impact. For a region like Jammu and Kashmir, heavily dependent on external supply chains, even the perception of disruption triggers public anxiety, as witnessed in the fuel and LPG concerns earlier this week. While the administration, from the chief minister to the divisional commissioner, repeatedly reassured the public about adequate supplies, the episode exposed a deeper challenge: our vulnerability to rumors in an age of instant misinformation. Encouragingly, the government's response has been firm. The sealing of petrol pumps in Anantnag for violations and the reiteration of a zero-tolerance policy against hoarding reflect an intent to maintain public trust through accountability. Yet, governance must go beyond reactive measures. Building a culture of public confidence requires consistent transparency and timely communication. On the political front, the demand for restoration of statehood continues to resonate strongly. The Congress delegation's meeting with the Lieutenant Governor reflects a broader sentiment cutting across political lines. Statehood is no longer merely a political slogan. It has become a psychological anchor for democratic participation and identity. Alongside this, legislative dynamism is visible, with private member bills on administrative reorganization, urban planning, and eco-friendly housing indicating a maturing discourse that goes beyond rhetoric to structural reform. However, the week also reminded us of persistent security concerns. The NIA raids in parts of Kashmir signal that the threat of militancy, though contained, has not disappeared. Equally alarming was the attempted attack on a senior political leader, a stark reminder that vigilance remains paramount. Peace, after all, is not a static achievement, but a continuous process. Amid these tensions, what stands out is the enduring spirit of the people of Kashmir. The message from the Iranian embassy thanking Kashmiris for their humanitarian gestures, particularly the image of a young girl donating her piggy bank, captures something profoundly Alinsania: human. It reflects a culture where empathy transcends borders, politics, and religion. In times when the world appears increasingly fragmented, such gestures reaffirm Kashmir's civilizational ethos rooted in compassion and Sufi values. The administration's focus on welfare and development also merits attention. The expansion of the compassionate appointment policy, issuance of job letters, and organization of job fairs signal efforts to address unemployment and social security. Simultaneously, proposed legislation for private universities and reforms in higher education point toward long-term capacity building. These initiatives, if implemented with integrity, can redefine the region's socio-economic trajectory. Environmental consciousness, too, found its place this week. From plantation drives in Budgam to glacier and water conservation discussions, there is a growing recognition that Kashmir's ecological fragility demands urgent and sustained action. Development cannot come at the cost of environmental degradation, especially in a region whose identity and economy are intrinsically tied to its natural heritage. Tourism, the lifeline of many livelihoods, is witnessing a promising revival. The overwhelming response to the Tulip Garden and the renewed activity in destinations like Sanisar indicate renewed confidence among visitors. Yet, this revival must be managed responsibly, ensuring sustainability and infrastructure readiness. At the same time, social challenges persist. The rise of cyber fraud cases, concerns over misinformation, and issues like drug abuse and youth engagement require a coordinated societal response. Governance alone cannot resolve these. They demand community participation, awareness, and a sense of shared responsibility. As the budget session resumes, expectations are high. The approval of a substantial budget and discussions on governance priorities offer an opportunity to align policy with public aspirations. What matters now is execution, efficient, transparent, and inclusive. In reflection, the week gone by tells a larger story. It is a story of a region standing at the intersection of global uncertainty and local transformation. It is about a people who, despite challenges, continue to demonstrate resilience and compassion. And it is about a governance system that is being tested, not just in its ability to respond to crises, but in its capacity to inspire confidence. Kashmir has always been more than a headline. It is a narrative of endurance and evolution. As we move forward, the need of the hour is balance between security and freedom, development and sustainability, political aspiration and administrative pragmatism. Above all, it is a time to reaffirm faith in institutions, in society, and in the collective future of this land. That is all in this weekly roundup on Kashmir Pen TV. Stay tuned in for more news, views, and analysis.